Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tres Pea-o-polls. I'm your host, Dylan D. Rail Manley, and today we're going to be reviewing movies. With me are my co-hosts, Robert the Stone Brewer and Dylan Big Daddy D. Warnicki. Today the movies we're going to be reviewing are The Graduate, Stranger Than Fiction, and Moneyball. Now for the first item on our agenda, The Graduate. Before we get into details, let me start you off with a brief summary of the movie. The Graduate is about a college student who just graduated and does not know what to do with his life. He's then seduced by his father's friend's wife, and then after this affair, he meets their daughter, Elaine, and is immediately in love. The only problem, he had sex with her mom. He then spends time trying to get her back after she found out about them having sex. But if you want to know the ending of the movie, you should watch it yourself because I don't want to spoil it for you. Now this movie, it was directed by Mike Nichols. I guess you could say the theme of it was questioning of society or the coming of age. It had great camera work for the time period because it was made in the 60s. And also the music was by Simon and Garfunkel, also a big symbol of the 60s. But here are some things I didn't like about it. For one, the guy who played the college graduate looks like a 40-year-old man. And, I mean, it was a good movie and all, but I don't see why it should be in the top 20 of all time. Now, The Stone, what did you think of the movie, The Graduate?
I didn't like the casting that they did. I didn't like the actor, Dustin Hoffman. I didn't think he did a very good job acting. Big Daddy D, what did you think of the movie?
I like the movie a lot. Probably the number one reason why I like the movie, though, wasn't because of the acting or much of it. It was mostly because I'm a huge fan of Simon and Garfunkel, and I was jamming out the entire time. But it was a great movie. It's just that I didn't like the plot, neither did the acting.
Now, if I can just say something real quick. How do you graduate college and have no idea what to do with your life? I mean, if you major in something, you have to have at least some idea.
Thank you, Mr. Derail. Thank you.
But otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good movie. It was a breakthrough movie of the 60s, and, I mean, you should really go see it. And we'll be right back after these commercials. Is your house on fire? Is your friend on fire? Do you need to put a fire out? Well, then use this giant fire extinguisher. It's great for putting out fires. And now we're back from the commercial break. And here's Robert reviewing Stranger Than Fiction.
Hello, I am Robert the Stone Brewer, and I'm talking about the movie Stranger Than Fiction. And this movie is about an IRS agent, Harold Craig, who has had a routine, lonely life controlled by his watch. However, one day he hears a narration of his life, telling him that he's going to die pretty soon. Then he falls in love with the owner of a bakery that is in debt with the IRS. This movie was directed by Mark Foster. And Dylan, what did you think of the movie?
I thought the movie was pretty good. It had a very original storyline, and I loved the casting of it. Will Ferrell just brought an amazing aspect of comedy to the movie that I think just made it 10 times better. What about you, Big Daddy D?
Probably the one thing that I like the most is the whole plot of the story, of how it was from a writer's book that people die from whatever she writes, and how Will Ferrell is the main character of this book, and he doesn't die. I thought that was pretty brilliant.
Mm-hmm. And now the rest of your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a very good movie. Will Ferrell did a really good job acting in it, and I liked the cast a lot. It was good. They did a good job casting. And I think we'll take a commercial break now. We'll be back with
Big Daddy D reviewing Moneyball. Are you a husband looking for stuff for your lonely housewife to do? Do you have no kids and does your wife not have a job? Well then, we found the perfect thing for your wife to do. We introduce to you the Endless Room. As your wife is sweeping, dirt keeps getting shot out the back of it without her even noticing, so she has to sweep the same spot over and over until she can't sweep anymore. Yeah! Are your forearms flabby? Do they need to get stronger, firmer, and tighter? Then I'm introducing to you the spin weight. All you do, put it in your hands and spin it for about 15 minutes a day in each hand, and your forearms will be not flabby anymore. Yeah! Yeah! And we're back. Now, Big Daddy D, you're reviewing Moneyball. What are your thoughts on this movie?
Alright, well, here's the basic summary. The summary of the book is about the Oakland Athletics using the Moneyball theory on winning the game of baseball and them almost tying the record of the longest winning streak in MLB history. The winning streak is 21 games set by the 1953 Chicago Cubs. In 2002, the Oakland Athletics only had a 20-game winning streak. A little more about this book. This book was based on a book called Art of Winning an Unfair Game by Michael Lewis. And also, other things I liked about the movie is this movie is full of suspense, emotion, and especially when Brad Pitt playing the roller coaster role of Billy Bean and all of his rough adversity that he faced through the season of 2001 to 2002 with a handicap of the lowest salary in MLB that year. Robert Stone, what did you think about Brad Pitt in this movie?
I think he did a really good job acting. He is a good actor. He's been in a lot of good movies, and they did good casting this movie. So, Dylan, what do you think of this movie?
Oh, well, I thought since Moneyball was a book about just straight statistics, and they turned it into a movie with characters, a plot line, and just amazing emotional story there. And now, but here's one statistic I want to tell you from the book. During the season, the Yankees and the A's had the same amount of wins. The Yankees bought each win for $1.4 million. And now the A's only spent $200,000 per win that season. Now, isn't that just an amazing statistic?
Yeah, it's all based on the Moneyball theory, like I said. The theory goes from the offensive stats to the defensive stats. They look at it from when players come out of high school, and some players come straight from high school to the MLB. They also look at it in college baseball players coming from college to the MLB. It's all about the draft, and it's all about the stats.
Alright, and that's all for today, folks. You can check out all three of these movies at imdb.com, and you can check us out at the Tres Pea-o-polls nobodycareswhoweare.com. We'll catch you later next week on Monday nights.
I liked it.